You've been looking for a 3D scanner that won't turn your hobby into a headache, something that slots into a small studio, runs reliably day after day, and actually saves you money instead of just adding another gadget to the shelf. That feeling of what if I pick the wrong tech and end up with a machine that takes forever to set up or spits out shaky models, is real, and it's why I spent a few evenings watching unboxing videos, scrolling through the forums, and digging into the specs of a few contenders before I finally settled on the Revopoint MetroY Pro. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the basics. The MetroY Pro is a handheld scanner that uses a blue laser, promises 5 scanning modes, and claims industrial-grade accuracy. That sounds impressive, but the question for most of us is how those numbers translate when you actually pull the thing out of the box and try to scan a coffee mug, a vintage figurine, or a half-finished prototype. I'm not a professional metrology lab. I'm a creator who needs reliable meshes fast enough to iterate on a design before I send it to the printer. So I'm going to walk through what it's like to set this up, what it does well, where it trips up, and who should or shouldn't spend their budget on it. First impression matters, and the MetroY Pro feels surprisingly light for a device that claims industrial accuracy. It fits comfortably in one hand, the grip is textured, and the button layout is intuitive enough that after a couple of minutes you're not fumbling for the trigger. The biggest surprise was the built-in Wi-Fi 6. Most scanners I've tried required a wired connection to a laptop, which meant you were tethered to a desk. Here, the scanner streams data straight to the Revopoint software over a fast wireless link, which means you can set it up on a rotating turntable or even walk around a large object without dragging a cable. In practice, that wireless stability holds up for most medium-sized scans. I did notice a brief hiccup when my home router was busy with a video call, but a quick switch to the 5 GHz band solved it without any recalibration. Now, the 5 scanning modes are where the MetroY Pro tries to cover all the bases. There's a handheld mode for quick, on-the-fly captures, a turntable mode that automates a 360-degree rotation, a fixed mode for static objects, a high-speed mode that reduces exposure time for moving subjects, and a high-detail mode for tiny parts. In real-world use, I found the turntable mode to be the most reliable for objects like small statues or mechanical components. You just place the piece on the included magnetic turntable, press a button, and the scanner does a full circle while the software stitches the point cloud together. No need for scanning spray or reference markers, which is a huge time saver compared to older scanners that required you to tape reflective stickers all over the item. The handheld mode is where the learning curve shows up. Because the blue laser is quite precise, you need to move at a steady pace and keep a consistent distance, usually around 200 mm from the surface. If you rush or drift too close, the software throws out points and you end up with holes in the mesh. That's not a flaw in the hardware, it's just the nature of high-resolution laser scanning. The good news is the software gives you a live heat map, so you can see which areas need more passes. After a few practice runs, I could capture a coffee mug in under a minute with minimal post-processing. One of the claims that often gets glossed over in marketing is the no scanning spray needed promise. In many affordable scanners, you need a matte coating to reduce shine on reflective surfaces, which adds a messy step. The MetroY Pro's blue laser handles glossy finishes better than most, but it's not magic. When I tried scanning a polished metal keychain, the scanner missed some of the specular highlights, leaving tiny gaps that I had to fill manually later. If you're planning to scan a lot of highly reflective or transparent objects, think jewelry or glassware, you'll still need some workaround, like a light dusting of a removable powder. Let's talk about the software because it's the bridge between raw data and a printable model. Revopoint's desktop application is clean, with a real-time preview, automatic alignment, and a one-click export to STL or OBJ. The auto turntable feature integrates directly into the UI, so you never have to switch windows. I appreciated that the software also offers basic mesh cleaning tools. You can close holes, simplify the geometry, and apply a quick decimation if the file size gets unwieldy. The downside is that the program is Windows only at the moment, which means macOS users have to run it through Boot Camp or a virtual machine, an extra step that can be a deal-breaker for some creators. So who should consider buying the MetroY Pro? If you're a hobbyist or small business designer who already has a 3D printer,